Yeah, let's go. Bing, bong, boom.
Retro J, you so crazy. Retro J, you so crazy.
Like, yeah, everybody on my time, a lot of people did. Took PS4.
I don't like that. I gotta record that clip. Oh, I downed him.
This is me is no longer. The off-season pod is here.
That was a great intro by you two. And that was, you guys have been doing it for a minute, so.
Yeah, let's go. Bing, bong, boom. It's Mr. Worldwide when I step in the room. I'm a hustler, baby. You already know it's your boy Big 38. We now tuned into the off season, baby. We here. California weather, California breeze. Take her out to eat. Yeah, real good vibes. But I'm also here with a good friend, someone I'm getting to know more and more every day, learning from him every day. Isaiah Oliver, started Arizona, then Colorado, Falcons, now back on the West Coast.
That's right.
Man, let's get right into it. Zay, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are as a person, so these people can get to know you.
Yeah, man. Like you said, born and raised in Arizona. That's just home. Got a big family. 3 brothers, 3 sisters. Always grew up around sports. Sports was always a big part of the fam. Everyone always plays sports, whether it's football, baseball, track, basketball, whatever it was. So kind of just fell in love with football at a young age. And knew that was just what I wanted to do with my life, really. Just playing the NFL, that's always just been the number one goal of mine. So kind of being where I'm at now is big, and it's been just a bit of real testament to kind of the work that we put in and the support system that we got, as you know. Yeah, it's been really good, man.
Yeah,
sure.
you never get to this level alone. You always had
Right.
somebody that was there pushing you, bringing you to games, bringing you to practice.
Right.
And, when you get to this level, you kind of got to reflect, appreciate those people for putting that
Really
work in with you.
Really
Because as much work as you put in, they were there, support systems, all that stuff.
Right.
Good that you had that good support system. Do you have any brothers, siblings, sisters, brothers?
Yeah, so it's 3 brothers, 3 sisters. So it's
Big family.
I'm the second oldest. So I got an older sister, and she's got 2 kids. So I got 2 nieces, and then it's me, and then my younger brother. He's 22 now. Then I got a younger sister. She's 20 or 19 actually. Be 20 soon. And then another sister, 16. And then brother 12, and then brother 10. Yeah.
So you're 27?
26.
26,
Yeah.
and then your youngest brother is 6.
It's 10.
10.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
16
that's
years.
a big difference right there.
Yeah,
that's
so
basically it could be your kid, that could be
Now,
my little
that's
son.
Really that's really how it was, because
Yeah.
I was in high school when he was born. Somewhere, yeah, I was in high school when he was born. I think my sophomore year he was born. And so had to change diapers, stuff like that. Because you're still in the house, so you're kind of there. And so then my other brother, the one that's 22, really was the one that was really with him, kind of like that whole time growing up, because he was really there throughout this whole time. So yeah, no, it's just kids help them take care of kids, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't got no this like Kenny, like my little brother.
Okay.
So we a couple years apart. So just having him around, I could just imagine. I remember when we was younger, I'd be playing the game, and he'd be like, "Let me play,"
Right.
and I give him a controller that's not working.
Not
He think he
plugged in.
playing. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, kill him, get him," and he like sitting there dying. I'm sitting there dying, laughing on the inside. He over there think he really playing.
Yep.
He probably don't even remember them
I
days.
remember that. I definitely do remember that.
Yeah.
But going from what I see is that you were a track athlete also
Yep,
too.
yep.
So what were your events when you were growing up?
Yeah, so I did what's called the decathlon.
Ooh,
And so for
yeah,
those
yeah.
that don't know what a decathlon is, it's 10 events spread out over the course of 2 days. So we do 5 events on one day, 5 events on the next day. So we do the 100, shot put, long jump, high jump, 400 on one day.
Woo,
Next day,
body
come
finished.
back, do the hurdles, do the discus, do the javelin, do the pole vault, and do the 1500. And so really,
crazy.
yeah, no, it was crazy. It's tough, but it was a lot of fun, really.
Yeah.
So really, I did all of the events, but my dad was a track athlete, and he did decathlon, so that's kind of how I got into it. He was always just a big proponent on everybody just running track. Like he always makes us run track, no matter what sport we wanted to do. Like we had to run track with it.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. So like if you wanted to play football, you had to run track in the spring. If you wanted to play basketball, you had to run track in the spring. Stuff like that. Because he just felt like, I don't know, his first love was really track. He played football too, but his first love was really track. He just felt like it makes us better athletes. So that was kind of his thing. So he made all his kids run track. Yeah.
The decathlon. I could just imagine that second day knowing I got to run the 1500.
Right.
Like, I done got through the 100, the fun stuff.
You got through the 400 too, and you still got to go to sleep that
gotta-
night and wake up and be like, okay, now I got the 1500 today. So it's tough. It's like a mental thing.
Yeah.
But no, I had a lot of fun doing it for sure. Yeah.
What of those events was your favorite? What was your top 3 out of the 10?
I always like long jump. I always like hurdles. Those are my top 2.
Okay.
Those are like the 2 that I was best at too. Outside of those, I mean, the next one I was best at was probably the 400, but I ain't never liked running the 400.
Got you.
Cause like, I don't know, it sucks. It hurts.
You get to that last 100
yeah.
meters, you like, yo,
Like, no one
legs
ever-
feel like bricks.
Yeah, there's very few people that I know that liked running the 400. But in terms, those are the best that I was best at. Those 3 for sure.
Got you. Yeah, because I got a couple friends that still ran in college.
Yeah.
I did triple jump in college, but
Okay.
I could never get into the running stuff.
Right.
I could never get past the 100. Once I got past the 100,
Yeah.
body shutting down. That 200, I might get you.
Right.
But I was a long jumper, triple jumper, high jumper. I stayed with that and stuck with it. So then after leaving high school, three-star athlete,
Right.
had a bunch of Arizona offered you all the local schools around? Or
Yeah,
how was that?
mean, yes and no.
Okay.
So really through my whole junior year, I didn't have no offers. Senior year, like I think Colorado or University of Mexico offered me first, probably maybe 2-3 weeks into the football season my senior year.
Oh wow.
But I was never really considering them that much.
Right,
Because I didn't
right,
really want to go to New Mexico. And then Colorado offered probably halfway through the season. But I didn't have no more offers until track season came around, spring. So the other schools were really just getting on board really late.
Right,
So I never really honored them in the way of that was an offer U of A, ASU, UCLA, they called and they offered or whatever after that, but I'd already committed to Colorado by then.
Gotcha,
I was already locked in. They were just trying
trying to see if they can get.
Yeah,
we did offer you. They didn't want to make a
Right.
mistake.
They didn't want to say that they didn't. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
it wasn't a real offer to me. It wasn't you really sought me out, knew what I could do, blah, blah, blah. So
Right.
in my head, it was only University of Mexico and Colorado, and then I just went with Colorado.
Got you.
Right.
So then when going to Colorado, you ran track, played football. How was that balancing that with school and all that? How was that part of college?
Yeah, no. I mean, it was fun, but it was hard. Like you said, I mean, as you know, football and school alone takes up a lot of college athletes, college football players' time. So for me, it was really track was whatever I could get in, I would get in, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it would be in the spring. So I still had to go to spring football because they didn't let me not go. So I'll go to practice, but I wouldn't do conditioning or lifting with the football team. I'll just do that with the track team. And so then I'll go to track practice and I'll kind of be if I was too tired from football, I just wouldn't do that much at track practice or something like that. So I really just going into meets kind of just, whatever I had is what I had.
Mm-hmm.
Which was fine with me just because I knew football was my main goal anyway.
Right. That's why you're there at school. That's why you're there.
Exactly. That was a scholarship. You know what I mean? So I was going to put all my time and effort into football. And I already knew that going in. Track was just I don't know. My dad did track. We always did track growing up. So I never had a season where I was not doing track.
Yep.
So it was just normal for me to want to do track. And then I was good at it. So I wanted to go out there and do it and compete against other college athletes. That was a lot of fun. That was cool.
Yeah.
So, but I never really had a whole season where I was okay, dedicated to track, training, compete, do all this, It was always just, if I had a few extra hours that day or that week, all right,
I'll go to track. Got you.
Exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So you had to go to both. I remember when I was doing both. I told them, I was I don't know if I'm gonna make this spring practices and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I can understand the pain. People think that's something that's easy, but being able to balance school and football is already hard. But then to put another sport on top of that is almost, to some people, it's impossible.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
But when going through that process and all that stuff, what did you learn about yourself? Did you learn time management? Was there things that you learned then that you still reciprocate now?
Yeah, no, I think, like you said, time management and really just creating a schedule. I feel that's kind of where I got it, what I have now. I like to do the same things every day throughout the week, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And for us in our profession, that's super important.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're not going to get it all in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just kind of getting in that routine, getting in that rhythm, I feel I learned that a lot from being in college and having to having to do both sports and school.
Having to
like
balance both.
yeah, just having a schedule and sticking to it and being consistent with it. And I feel like it just helps me that much more in the position that we're in now. So, I kind of credit that to that. But
There you go.
no, it's tough. But you figure it out. I figured it out as I go. Like the first year was hard, the freshman year. But then after that, like I kind of figured it out a little bit. So
Got you. So, being that you were at Colorado, when you were there, you guys were pretty good.
Right.
Coach McIntyre,
Yep.
that staff. I had Coach Mack as my defensive coordinator my junior year.
Okay, yeah,
so I
yeah.
kind of familiar with Coach Mack and that staff.
Right.
But then Colorado went through like a little bit of slumps and,
Yep.
not winning as much. And then now having Deion Sanders as the head coach.
Yep.
You went to the spring game.
Went to the spring game.
How do you think that transition with having him there is going to be?
It's gonna be crazy. So the first thing you notice, like right when I went back into Boulder, like the whole culture has changed, like around the school. Like Boulder is centered around University of Colorado. Like that's like the thing there, like Buffs. You know what I mean? Because it's not that big of a town. It's a college town, right? But I've never seen those people that excited about CU football. Like I'm sure it has been in the past because it was good in the 90s, you know, with McCartney and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
And Cordell Stewart and all that time.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's been like that before, but I've never seen it like that personally.
Right.
Like,
And you guys were pretty good. So
and we were pretty good.
Right.
You know what I mean? We went to Pac-12 championship and like it still wasn't like it is
So what-
now. And he hasn't even had a game yet.
Right,
You know what I mean? It's
right.
just all hype.
Right.
And just his ability to kind of get people excited. Like I feel like he has a knack for that. As a lot of people know, you watch one interview of Deion Sanders and it's like, okay, I'm
You're
excited.
drawn to the energy.
Right,
Like
yeah,
you're like,
yeah, like,
I
yeah,
need
that-
to know more. I need to see. Like, even if they're
Exactly.
not good, it's like I just want to watch it. I just want to watch the
them
game.
regardless. Like that ESPN at the spring game. Like that's crazy. Like we never even had a game on ESPN. And now you're there for the spring game. And being there, like, I mean, the stadium was sold out. And it wasn't free. All our spring games were free. And
They knew
barely
they was gonna
had-
make some money. They was
we
like,
barely had 500 people. And they were
Right.
charging for the tickets and they had 45,000 people there. And like that's a full packed, fulsome stadium. So
Right.
it was crazy to see. It was crazy to see that. So I mean, I'm excited for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a tough position to be in, just coming off the season they had last year, going into it now. But I mean, I feel like it's headed on the right track, regardless of how the season goes. I feel like they're headed the right way, just off excitement alone, because that's going to help so much.
Right.
The attention, the money, bringing in recruits, whatever. I feel like it'll only go for here. So I'm excited for CU football. For
the
sure.
one thing I want to tell people, like, you can't expect a team to go from the bottom to the top in 1 year.
No, it's not.
It's a grind. It's not like they automatically just got the best players in the country and they're going to go there and change the whole program.
Yeah.
Like, you got to wait for him to put his system and his
Yeah.
culture and all that stuff. And then people, that one video, like when you seen his first team, he was like, some of you guys aren't going to be here. Like, that's
Right.
real.
No,
At
for
least he's
sure.
being real. Some coach would have been like, had a conversation. Nah, you good. 2 weeks later, you're gone.
Right.
You'd rather him tell you that to your face, like, if you guys don't fit my culture, if you guys don't fit what I'm trying to build,
Yeah.
then you won't be here.
Right.
Cool. If you don't fit and you feel like you don't fit, leave too.
Right.
So he was given that open door. So I feel like I can respect a person who can be open and honest, and that's the kind of coach you want to play for. Is that coach that you can go to and ask him a question, he's gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
So just seeing that, and I can see like where he's trying to take it. I want to see him get there. Because, it's Deion. You
Right.
don't want to tarnish
Exactly.
his legacy and
No,
all that stuff.
no way.
But, I hope he does well. I hope the team does well.
Me too, for sure.
Maybe we'll get to go to a game on
Hey.
on a bye week or something. We'll go over
Sure.
there too.
I'm definitely trying to
So
get a game.
let me know when you going. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
If the spring game was like that, I can't imagine what a real
game's
home
gonna be
game's gonna be
crazy.
like that. So yeah, no, I'm excited, especially like Nebraska coming in,
Mm-hmm.
like stuff like that. Like it's really just getting back to how CU football used to be,
Right.
way back in the '90s, early 2000s. So I feel like that's kind of how it is now. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So then going from Colorado, you get
Mm-hmm.
drafted now you're leaving the West Coast finally
Yes.
and going to the East, kind of the East Coast, really the South.
Yeah.
But going to the Falcons, what was that experience like, leaving home, your family, the big family, going away
Mm-hmm.
and kind of going on your own?
Yeah, no, it was different. It's like it was really different just because, like in the NFL, we don't go home really
Right.
ever. Especially when you're that far. I feel like a lot of guys just don't go home. Like I didn't really go home for a while when I first went to the NFL. Like no Christmases at home, stuff like that. You know what I mean? which is happens in college too. But I was so much closer,
Right.
Colorado to Arizona. Like they could come out to games,
Right.
they could do
Quick
this.
flight.
Quick flight.
Yeah.
Now, like, I mean, we had games on the West while I was in Atlanta, but other than that, like my mom hadn't really come to no games out in Atlanta. Maybe one, twice over the course of 5 years. So because it's so far, you know, it's expensive, whatever. So that was different for sure. And then just Georgia as a state, Atlanta as a city,
different.
Way different than
So
in Arizona, it's
a different
not
animal right there.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
way more diverse, way more African American population, stuff like that. So that was, I mean, I felt like that was really cool for me to see, just because coming from Arizona, you know, where there's not that many black people in Arizona. You know what I mean? And in Colorado, there was even less. And in Boulder, there was even less than less. You know what I mean? There was maybe made up like 3-4% of the whole school population. So that was crazy for me to go to Atlanta, go to Georgia, and it's, you know, where the predominant race. You know what I mean? Especially in that city or where we're at playing football. So I mean, that was really cool just to be in that majority in that time that I was there. So I thought that was probably the biggest shock for me, like culture shock.
Seeing people that kind of look like you, now you're playing in that city. It's like
everywhere. Like I tell people all the time, like the biggest thing was just walking into a Target and like everyone was black. Like the people working was black, the people shopping was black. Everyone was black, and it was like,
am I in Target?
That was the first,
or I'm in Walmart. Where am I?
That was the first time where I really looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, this is different. Yeah, just because I don't know, I just never seen that before. Either growing up in Arizona or being in Colorado. Yeah,
got you. Yeah. So you know, playing in the Falcons 5 years, what was something that you learned about yourself? You know, being out there alone and all that stuff. Like, was there any times where you like second guess, like playing football? You know, being away from home. I'm on the West Coast now. I'm an East Coast baby. So sometimes you like think like, dang, is football really worth being away from your family? Did you ever have those moments, or was there so much support that you knew like you were doing the right thing?
Yeah, I'll say it's probably a little bit of both, because I did have a lot of support for sure, and I definitely was able to talk to people about it. You know, I was able to call my dad, call my mom, whatever, and have those kinds of conversations for sure. But at the same time, that transition from college to NFL is just big in itself. Yeah. Whether you're at home or not, you can get drafted in the same state that you live at. It's still going to be tough for you.
It's still going to be tough,
just because it's just it's a different game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you kind of have to check in with yourself to get ready for that. I feel like, if that makes sense. So really it's that first year, maybe the second year too, for some guys, but that rookie year two, the training camps are different. Oh yeah, the talent level is different. Everybody is good. Right, you know what I mean.
Your off time's even different. Like nobody's telling you to go to rehab. Nobody's telling you to take care of your body. Like those are things you got to learn to do by yourself.
Exactly, you got to do everything on your own, and you have to be ready to go when it's time to go. Right. Otherwise, you can get left behind. Right. And that's just kind of how it goes. So that part I felt like was what I was getting used to. Gotcha. Not so much of the being away from home, just because I was able to still connect with family and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like that was probably the hardest part, or what took the most time
to get used to.
Yeah,
got you. Yeah. And then having your dad and your uncle who played in the NFL, was that ever any pressure to like, oh, I gotta make it, or like I gotta get to that level because my dad did it, my uncle did it. Like I don't want to be the person who says, oh, they did it, but I didn't. Right. Was that ever any pressure for you?
I feel like not like, no, I didn't have that pressure because they never said those types of things, if that makes sense. I feel like subconsciously, I probably put that on myself. You thought about it,
but they never put it on you.
But they never put it on me, or other family members never put it on me. Friends of family never put it on me. You know what I mean? So I never had like that kind of conversation with somebody where I felt like that pressure was put on me. But as myself, like I'm just a competitive person that wants to like be the best. Like that's just, how a lot of professional athletes are. And so like I knew I could do it, so I always put my pressure on myself to go do it. If that makes sense. But I never felt that way coming from a family member or coming from a friend. So I felt like that was probably good. You know what I mean? Because I probably would have been a lot growing up, especially like in high school or something like that, having to be like, oh, if you don't make it to the NFL, you failed. Right. You know what I mean? Which would have been crazy to think back then as a kid. Right. So no, I don't. I felt like I never had that problem. They did everything in their power to help me get there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just really, it was a blessing because he knew all the things. He knew what it took. Yeah. I mean? Ever since I was little, like ever since I told him that I wanted to play in the NFL, he kind of took me through a process of getting there. You know what I mean? Just because he knew what it took to get there, which a lot of people don't have. Right. So I mean, whether that was doing certain workouts as kids, understanding that I had to, do other sports, run track, do this, whatever, going to the right high school, whatever the case may be, to help me get to where I'm at now. So
Got you. And I think sometimes, like I got a couple friends that dads played in the league and they didn't make it, or even in like the NBA or stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like the worst thing like a parent can do is like force a kid into a situation.
Right.
Even though I tell you I want to be that, but don't let me do it for myself. Don't be the person. No, we got to go to practice. No, we got to do this. We got to do that.
No.
One thing my dad always said, like, if I start it, I got to finish it, but it's up to you to start it.
Yes.
Like, if you don't want to do it, okay, I'm not going to force you.
Yep.
That's on you. But I think, that's good to have a father figure that's been there, an uncle that's been there, and can lead you to the right, like, take you to the water, but you got to drink it.
Right.
They're not going to drink it for you. They're going to lead you to the right way. They're going to put you in the right path, but it's on you to put the work in. It's on you to keep being consistent and want to be the best.
Yes.
And that's one thing I feel like that you've done and you keep doing. So, applauds to you and your family on, making sure that that you have the right tools to be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly what it was. And so that was big for me, and that helped me a lot. And I feel like that also helped me to when I went off by myself, I kind of already had that foundation, if that makes sense. So I kind of knew what it took at that point. So it was really good for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I think having that support system is definitely big for any NFL player to get into where they want to be, because it's huge in our life. Because every day it's football, football, football. When you get home, you want to be able to have that comfortability to come home and relax and not really have to think about the X's and O's sometimes. Right. But transitioning to what this podcast is about, the off season. What does the off season mean to you?
Yeah, I feel like the off season. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. I feel like it has been a lot of different things for me. But where I'm at now, like this past off season, it's about getting your body right, getting healthy. If you had anything going on at the end of the season or whatever, and then it's just about working on the little things that I feel like you don't get to work on during the season, just because you're going from game to game, this to that, and then after that though. I feel like the next biggest thing is really getting away from ball.
For sure.
And I feel like a lot of people don't do that one as often or as well as they should. Right. And that's not just meaning, go to Hawaii for a week. There's more than that. It's really about finding something that you like to do, and taking time to pursue that and put your interest into that and put your time into that. And I feel like that's something that I've learned over the last couple of years, because that's not something I did my first few years in the NFL at all.
Like I need to get better. Boom, boom.
Right.
Every
It was
day.
like, okay, we're gonna take a vacation and then we're gonna go right back to work. You know what I mean? Right. And we're just gonna do football, and if it's not doing football, then it's nothing else. You know what I mean? Right. Which is not. I don't think it has to be like that. Like you have time. There's more than enough time in the day to work out and take care of your body and do something that you want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I feel like I'm starting to adjust into that way now. And kind of figuring out what that is for me and what that looks like. 'Cause I feel like that's really important. It's something that I never really did before.
Yeah, it's big. We consume our life of football from as young as 6. I started playing football when I was 6 all the way till now. It's like it's always been football and maybe a few other sports.
Yeah.
And then you miss those birthdays because August during camp. Yep. But now that we made it, it's almost like you gotta go cherish life outside of the sport. You got to go, see what you like to do, because, again, NFL, not for long. You got to figure out what are those things I want to do when it's done. You don't want to start it immediately when it's done. Start putting the seeds in the ground, so then when you're done, it's like it's already easy to get into. Is there anything outside of football that you, like, business-wise, that you're trying to do in the future? Or, like, what do you see Isaiah after football? Like, what is that the aspiration?
I feel like it's changed a lot for me.
Okay.
So when I was in college, like I was a advertising major.
Okay.
Or strategic communication, whatever. And the goal was to kind of take that from, not necessarily from a marketing standpoint, but go for more like broadcasting.
Okay.
And so obviously we see a lot of professional athletes on TV, doing the broadcasting or doing the TV shows and stuff like that. And so that was kind of where I was headed. While I was in college, that's what I thought I wanted to do. Yeah. And now I don't know anymore, to be honest. I don't know if that's really something I want to do. I always said that I didn't really want to get into coaching, but the more I play football, the more I feel like I kind of do want to get into coaching. Not necessarily at the NFL level, but whether it be high school or college, kind of developing young men.
Yeah. Before they get to this level, it's kind of like they already know who they are and what they have. They're stubborn by the time they get to this level.
Yeah,
Most people.
Yeah. And so kind of, whether it be high school or college, kind of developing a skill set, developing a person, developing a character. I feel like that's important. So I feel like I could really see myself touching people in that way.
Gotcha.
Then also this past offseason, working through my financial group, working through Signify Wealth, we've done a lot of different things on the investment side.
Yeah.
And I got really interested kind of in just commercial property.
Nice.
And investing in commercial property, triple net leases, things like that. And I could really see myself kind of taking that route and setting something up to where I could really dive into that after football.
Got you.
And so, like you said, it's about planting the seed, getting the work done now so that when you're done, it's kind of already there and you can really grow from there.
Right.
And so that's kind of what I'm doing now and what I plan on doing for the next however many off seasons we have, playing this game is really taking the time during those off seasons to grow that.
Got you.
Sure. Yeah.
Got you. That's smooth.
Yeah.
I try to get into like the whole properties and all that stuff, but I feel like you have to have the knowledge or have somebody with you that understands it because you can't just jump in there and be like, I want that house.
Right.
What am I going to do with that house?
I think the biggest thing is you have to find a mentor. And the earlier you find a mentor, the better. Yeah. So finding someone that can take you on those business calls or those conference calls and take you around, show you property and say, okay, this is my next move is. This is my plan.
And this is why I want this.
Exactly. And so just learning it. That's where I'm at now. Just learning it from that aspect. Not necessarily putting my money into a whole bunch of things right now because it's not necessary for me to do that right now. I don't feel like. But really just more so with learning or understanding the business.
Got you.
Business side of it. And then being able to say, okay, now I can look at a deal myself and be like, okay, this deal makes sense for me, or this deal doesn't make sense for me. And so that's kind of where I'm going.
Got you. That's smooth, man. Maybe I'll find that mentor and be able to jump into there, get into that avenue. But right now, I'm just into the whole gym aspect.
Right.
You said like you want to enhance people's life in the football realm. I think mine is I'm into enhancing any athlete.
Right.
Seeing them grow from 7 years old. I have athletes all the way from 7 all the way up to juniors in college. So seeing that grow from like, we had kids, my first kid was an 8th grader and now he's a sophomore. He's about to be a sophomore. Just seeing how much he grown in 3 years, I'm like, wow, that's kind of like beautiful. You couldn't even like walk. So that transition is probably something that I'll go into once I'm done. But you're also married.
Yep.
What was that like? Man, everybody always scares me. My boy, my boy Jahiva got married my rookie year, and he got married overseas. And just hearing like in our profession, it's kind of tough to find that one who's really for you and someone that is not just there for the money and the fame and all that stuff. Because eventually that's going to end, and that person has to be there for you when it's not there. Yeah. So when did you know it was the right time to get married?
So I feel like my situation was a little bit different. I was lucky because I met my wife when I was a senior in high school. Yeah.
She a real one.
Right.
She's a real one.
So, it was a lot.
You heard that, Kenny? Find you one now.
Exactly.
I heard it.
So it's a lot easier from that aspect because, like, she's from Arizona. Our families kind of already knew each other before. My dad knew her dad.
Got you.
Just from being in Arizona way back when, whatever. And so she also ran track. So we kind of knew each other.
Y'all gonna have athletic babies. Yeah, you see how you did that? Yeah, see, look, I'm thinking for the future.
So we kind of knew each other in that world already. But yeah, so we had been together. I mean, I don't even know how many. It's 9 years now, but we've been married for almost 2 years. Nice. So, but in terms of when I felt like I was ready to get married, that's tough because I always felt like we were already so close. We were already like living that lifestyle, right? But the marriage was kind of like the next thing to do. Gotcha. And it was important to do it for sure. But at the same time, I just wanted to wait until like I was more stable, I guess.
Gotcha.
Was the only thing that I was waiting for personally. If you ask her, she probably would have wanted to get married 2 years earlier than what we did, right? But for me, it was just about like, just being comfortable, being stable. So in Atlanta, we got married in 21, so that was going into my 4th year.
Okay. Yeah.
So like, you know, I mean, you just more comfortable.
You know what the league is about. You don't have to really have to
It
worry about
wasn't-
that. How you were your rookie and second year. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Now I'm like more like calm and I can do it.
Right. Just a little more understanding.
Yeah.
A little more mature in that aspect. So that's when I felt like it was the right time. And then we got married out in Arizona. It was great. Small
Nice.
wedding. Just did like close family and close friends. So that was really cool.
That's cool, man.
It was way better that way, I felt like. But yeah, it was great. And it's been great ever since. Yeah.
What does, marriage is a complete thing, like where two people come together and they're trying to
Right.
build something. What does your wife do for you, like on a mental side or
Yeah.
like emotional, physical? Like, what does she help you with on a daily basis?
Yeah. Everything.
Everything. She head honcho.
Right. Yeah. No, she just controls everything to allow me to be able to focus on what I need to focus on, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's been really helpful. Because now I'm able to, whatever, wake up at whatever time, 6:00 in the morning, whatever, to go to work, to go train, to go work out, do this, take care of my body afterwards, football lock in, and not have to worry about everything else that's going on. You know what I mean? Because I know it's
Already it's a lot.
Already it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there's no extra added on.
Right.
And I feel like that's just been really big for me, especially over the last couple of years, after getting hurt, stuff like that. So just I feel like it's just way more mentally, it's just way more relaxing, way more calm, way more chill, because I'm able to have her as that support system, and she's able to take care of so many things. So then when I come home, it's just, me coming home, and then we can just be together. And chill.
You're not worried about, I gotta go home and argue. I gotta go home.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. Like it's just way more relaxed, way more chill, and way better than if I was by myself. I feel like I would just have 10,000 more things to do by the time I got home.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so, no, it's been.
Man, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Man, that's good though.
Yeah.
Especially that you found someone that you knew was truly that she was there before you even got to college and all that stuff. So having someone making that right and making that like getting married and all that stuff. I know she was probably, like you said, 2 years before that she probably would have won, but it finally you felt when you knew when it was the right time.
Right.
You got it done when you knew it was the right time. Next question is, are you a gamer at all?
I do play video games. I'm not like crazy intense like all the time.
Okay.
But I definitely do play. I've always played video games. I always had an Xbox growing up. Hey, chill.
Hold on, I like that.
No. We don't do that Xbox one. It stopped after Xbox 360. After Xbox 360, you should have got a P4.
Hey, man.
I know that's pretty much what everyone did.
Everybody did. Everybody went from Xbox 360 to PS4.
Because I feel like everyone I know ever had a 360.
Everybody had a 360.
Everybody had
if you had a
360.
PS3, you was weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody had a
You was a weirdo.
Sure. And then the PS4 came out and everyone thought they had a Switch. But I was loyal to the soil. You feel me? So I had an Xbox One, did all that, got the X, Series X now, had a Series S, whatever, you know what I mean? But, I always grew up, playing Madden, playing 2K, playing Call of Duty, or whatever the case. But I never really got into, like, just gaming. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Where I feel like where it is now, like the level of gaming now, it's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that also comes with like the whole social media aspect of how the life is now. Like
for sure,
kids are Twitch and all these other streaming sites that you can make money
so
literally
much
sitting in.
access.
So much access exactly to gaming and I feel like some people hate it, but if what's the difference between, obviously you still got to go out. Go to the park and stuff like that. But for kids that want to game and they're with their friends, they're safe. You're doing something. And sometimes it even helps the brain, strategically, especially what games you're playing.
Right.
So what were your top 3 games of all time?
Of all time.
All time. Top 3.
That's tough. Okay, so obviously being a football player, Madden. Like
which Madden though? Which Madden was the
which Madden?
Like, which Madden cover was your favorite?
Yeah. That's tough too.
That's a good question.
That's
a good question.
That's a great question.
Madden's had some
Madden's had some
ups and had some like, why is he the cover?
Why is he? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna say no names, but yeah, there's definitely been some YZ to cover Madden.
Exactly.
So the one when you first asked me the question, the one that popped into my head right away,
Yeah.
I don't know why it did, but the Ray Lewis Madden.
Ooh, okay.
Okay,
When he,
yes, the Ray Lewis Madden, I felt like was my one of my top Maddens.
that was your
for
top
sure.
Madden.
That was one of my top Maddens. That, let's see, what else? That one. There's been a few.
Are you excited for NCAA coming out?
Yes, definitely.
You think NCAA will top Madden?
Wow.
I'm sorry to
What
get off of the
sense?
Madden
Wait,
question.
hold on. That's another great question,
In
though.
what sense do you mean though? Like it'll like outsell Madden?
I think it will. I think
it
I
could
think
outsell
more people are
Madden,
going to
probably.
play it because of the fact
I
that
think-
NCAA, even like college football, like in NFL, is bigger. And NCAA college football is bigger than NFL. So I think more
Right.
people will buy it to the fact of the mascot games. You know how
Right. As
NCAA
long
used to
as
be-
they
it
have
comes
all
back-
the same
Yup.
things that they had,
Yup,
I mean, I haven't read up on it to know enough what they're gonna have. But if they have the Road to Glory, the Dynasty, stuff like that, if they have all that and it's the same, yeah, I definitely think it got a good possibility.
Got a good
But I would assume that the gameplay
it's going to be a little
is
different.
gonna be the same as Madden, not how NCAA used to be.
I think they got to go back.
No,
You got to go back and have
not.
exactly how it
I don't
was.
think they are though.
You think they're
Yeah,
gonna try and be
because
like-
because EA Sports, I feel like they can't do it differently because then people are gonna say, okay, if you could do that in NCAA, why can't you do that in Madden? You know what I mean? And then they're gonna want Madden changed. So I feel like the
I
gameplay
get
will
what
be
you're saying. I
similar
get what you're
to
saying.
Madden.
They gonna be like, well, Madden been
Right,
I
you
get
know what I
you're
mean? Because
saying.
it's not the same people making the NCAA that used to make it way back when.
Right,
So it'll be different. But I definitely think with the game modes, I mean, there was nothing like picking a school and rocking with that school through and winning national championships.
Yup.
Dynasty mode. Like that was crazy
Right,
time.
right.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
can't do
just-
that on Madden. Like, I don't
No.
care if you want to do a offline franchise. Come
is
on,
not
bro.
the same
I'm
as
not about
Madden.
to sit here and play.
Being able to recruit players and stuff
speaking
like that
facts.
is way different than the franchise on
Right.
Madden. That's not the same thing.
Right.
It's not the same thing at all. So I think that alone will get a lot of people to buy that game.
Okay.
That alone will get me to buy that game. So
Right,
I think it'll
right.
get a lot of people to buy that game
Right.
for sure.
So we got Ray Lewis, and then you think
I think that Ray Lewis one, I think that one was tough. And then the intro was crazy on that one. Yeah.
trying to think, what was the intro to that? We gotta pull that up. We gotta have that right there on the
intro?
video. We gotta have the intro on there. But my favorite picture of Madden was Odell catching.
I was
a
going to
pass.
say Odell too, just because the catch was
just
crazy.
the catch was
the best one
The
to me.
catch was crazy.
Just because
That's
the
the best
catch
one.
was crazy. Yeah.
the best, like you saying, like
that's the best cover.
Yeah.
Oh, the best cover. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's an action shot.
The action-
A lot of Maddens didn't have action shots.
Exactly.
Oh, they did, but it was like a fake action shot, like a quarterback running with the
Like
ball.
you knew
It was the real.
you
catch.
could have just had the
Yeah.
figure up there. You like on some
Right.
like who's the NBA picture? You
Right,
know who
right.
that is.
You know who that
who caught the ball like that.
Right.
So I feel like
I think that's the
agree.
best picture.
Yeah.
And but the worst Madden, and I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it because it was like a monumental Madden was Madden 25.
I like Madden 25.
You mean like the worst Madden, like gameplay wise?
Gameplay wise.
I like Madden 25 though.
I did not like Madden 25.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I played Madden 25 a lot.
I did not.
did
I
play
played that
Madden
the
25 a
most.
lot. Yeah, it might have been the most.
That's the most.
I just wasn't.
I did play that one a lot.
I just wasn't a
Can't lie.
fan. I wasn't, and I'm not a fan of I am a fan of what they're trying to do with the new Madden with the meter of like how to throw the ball, how you could
Yeah.
lob the ball. Even though you're lobbing, you can put touch on it a little bit more
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
do like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
Madden is
I mean,
Madden
yeah,
to me.
It's fair. I did play that one a lot though. I can't lie. I
Madden
played that one a lot.
25?
Yeah.
So were you
25
big
was
at Call of
crazy.
Duty? See, I'm a big Call of Duty
See,
guy. I'm a true.
I was like 50-50 on Call of Duty.
50-50?
Like I had all the Call of Duties.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was never that great at first person shooter games in first place.
What about Halo?
Halo I had just because I had Xbox, so I
Okay,
had Halo
okay,
for
okay.
sure. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
I miss
if you,
Halo.
If
I
you
miss
had
Halo.
an Xbox and you didn't have Halo, then I don't know why you had Xbox in the first place. Like that was what
right.
that was Xbox, for a long
I
period.
do.
Of time.
That's probably one of the one games I miss from. But Halo's they stopped
They still got Halo.
They still got Halo.
but it's not the same.
It's not the same
yeah,
at all.
but the Halo Infinite I had,
Yeah.
and which was pretty cool. But it's nothing like Halo.
Like just
Yeah.
behind you, Kenny, the Xbox and the P5, it just
The
looks
only-
superior. The P5 just
okay,
looks
that's
superior to
fair.
that Xbox.
And
It looks superior.
Like it just
but-
looks like, what is that big black box?
It's a box. Yeah, it's a box.
What is that big black
It's a
box?
big. It's a rectangular
Like
box.
that doesn't
Yeah.
like if
That's
you were
fair.
if you were to walk past if you didn't have anything on it and you were to walk past that
Yeah,
in,
it didn't have a
in the
logo.
store,
I'm getting this one.
you would
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
get that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But you wouldn't even be like, that's a video game.
Yeah.
You would
No, I
just think
wouldn't
that
know.
was like a
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
you wouldn't know.
A router.
Yeah,
A router or
a big
something.
router or like
A memory card, memory
old,
box.
computer joint.
Old computer
Yeah,
joint.
that's
Yup.
not
underneath
Yup,
the
yup,
desk.
yup,
Yeah.
yup, yup.
Yeah,
So, like-
that's really what it looks like. No, aesthetically, yeah, the PS5 for sure.
PS5,
and
bro.
PS5 with Spider-Man now is actually
Hey.
going stupid because
Crazy.
that game is crazy.
Crazy.
And so them locking that in, I feel like
Huge.
it's dangerous.
It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's
I
dangerous.
think they. I brought this to some of my friends I play the game with, but if Xbox and P5 were to come together, they would make so much money. But the fact that they're not, because it's a competition thing of like,
Right.
I'm trying to get this game, we got
Yeah.
this game.
Their rivalry brings them so much money, though.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
does.
Like
But
them coming together wouldn't be as much money as them being separate
don't think so?
individually. You know what I mean?
right. You're right.
Yeah,
They would have to
that's what I
share
think. They would have to share it. now.
share everything rather
They
than.
wouldn't be.
But they need to have crossplay for every game that does like that.
Yes.
Both games make. And I heard the new Madden.
Madden will have
I heard the new
which
Madden.
is about at least 5 years late.
Right,
Because that's crazy.
it's crazy.
'Cause that's like the
If
number
you-
one sports game for
Right.
both consoles.
Right.
To not have crossplay just made no sense. But I'm glad they have it now.
If you both make the same game, have crossplay. Like just work together. You're already sharing the proceeds and profits anyway, so you might
Right.
as well just
Exactly.
And that's gonna bring the game more money.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Way more.
Like so
Cool. Yeah.
gaming is my thing. I'm a big
Yeah,
gamer.
big gamer. Okay.
I
Yeah.
Twitch, I do all this.
Yeah,
This
see,
is where
yeah,
all
I
these
do all
cameras
that.
are at
Right.
when we're not doing podcasts or other stuff.
Right.
It's just set up and just twitching.
Yeah.
It's something that I find like it's almost like my podcast on the game. Like I'm just talking to myself. I'm talking to my friends on the game. I'm talking to people in the chat. Like,
Yeah.
and there'll be fans on there. They'll be like, "Oh, so how's the 49?" I'm like, "Yo, I'm not talking about no football."
Right,
Like,
hit the
oh,
game.
like how's
Yeah.
how's this? I'm not talking about that. That's not for this right now.
That's funny.
But it's always cool to get on there. But so my last question and my last thing I got for you. If you can go back and give the younger Isaiah some advice of life, what's going to happen, what he should be doing, or what he can do better, what would you give him? And then, what is some advice that you would give to any a man or woman watching?
Yeah. So for myself, honestly, it would just be to keep going. Like, it was never a point where I felt like I was off track or off the road that I wanted to be on, if that makes sense. Like I always was going in the right direction
Gotcha.
the whole time, towards the goal that I wanted to have. So, I mean, for my younger self, it would just be that to trust it and keep on going. Never, don't waver.
Right.
But for young women just around, young men and women, it would just be if you have a goal or you have something that you want to do in life, like just pursue it.
Yep.
Like just do everything you can to pursue it. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that you really, really want to do, like figure out what it takes to get there and just go out there and do
it.
absolutely whatever you can to get it done. You know what I mean? No matter what it takes, just go for it. Because like I really truly believe it's possible. Like
Right.
I really truly believe you could do whatever you want to do. Like
Right.
I know that's like might be cliche to say or whatever, but I really am a big believer in that because
Want it, go get it.
like especially today, man, like there's just so much out there and there's so many people you can learn from and you have access to, whether you believe it or not, like you really do. It just might be a little bit more harder to find in some areas than others.
Right.
For sure. But it's out there, and if you really, really want it, I believe that you can go get it. And that's kind of like people talk about their why they play football, right? And mine has always really been like my family, like my younger siblings.
Yeah.
Just because they know me and they know that ever since I was a kid that I wanted to play in the NFL. And like that was the one thing that I wanted to do more than anything else.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm like that living truth for them that like, okay, Isaiah wanted to play in the NFL. He worked really hard to play in the NFL, and then he got there. You know what I mean? And so, especially for the younger ones, like the 10, 12, ones, you know, in the ones in high school, like I feel like they can look at me and they can say, okay, like whatever I want to do. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be, you know, anything like that. It can be whatever.
Right.
But if you work really hard at it, I mean, I'm gonna help you in any way you can, right? And then you can do it, and that could be whether it's something that you want to be a job or your profession or whatever, or just your passion. It could be something that you do for the rest of your life.
For sure.
And so I feel like that's just really important. And so I feel like a lot of people just, if they could really understand that, they could really get it done.
Yeah, for sure. And just to piggyback off that,
Yeah.
even once you get there, the work don't stop.
Oh, no.
You got to keep going. Once you even get to where you want to go, because he wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for having that dream, going to get it, just like you just said, but then once you get there, not getting comfortable and still knowing that there's still something that you can get better at.
Oh,
and something that even inside of that goal, that can be a bigger goal inside of that goal. Like, you know, and for us, it's like, okay, maybe it's a Pro Bowl, maybe it's a Super Bowl, maybe it's all pro, maybe it's this, starting, you know, captain. There's always something within a goal that you can obtain. And I feel like, you know, that's that extra that you put in once you get there. Is like, boom, now I'm here, I'm not comfortable, I'm going to get more. So, you know, man, I appreciate you coming on. Definitely a great episode. You know, appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's your boy Miles signing out. Yeah.